Now, before you try to come at me with your torches and pitchforks, I'm not saying if you like this book, you're a pick me. I'm saying that Lauren and Verity are the pick-me's of all pick-me's, the ultimate pick-me's. For those that don't know, Verity by Colleen Hoover is a suspense thriller where Lauren, a author that's like hasn't had a lot of work recently, gets offered the opportunity pretty much of a lifetime to finish the series of Verity. Crawford, who was involved in an accident and is unable to finish her series, and yeah, for a whole bunch of money, way more money than she's ever made being a writer. And she goes to stay at the house of Verity, Jeremy, and their son Crew, in order to just go through her notes and see what she's working on, or what her plans were for the next books. But in her research, she finds Verity's autobiography and all the very concerning things that are written in there. And yes, it's a story about just what if Lauren isn't sure if she should tell Jeremy about the autobiography or if it's even real. It's just how things progress from there. And spoiler warning, I'm literally going to be getting into the meat and potatoes of what happens in here right after this, so if you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching. Let's get into it. Jumping right into it, the autobiography versus the letter. There are just so many issues, but my biggest issue, and I would say the biggest point as to how stupid Verity is the fact that in the letter, she explains that her agent suggested that she do antagonistic journaling, which I just think is dumb in general, and start with meeting Jeremy. But if it was a writing exercise to help you get into the headspace of the characters you're working with, why would you call it an autobiography, you stupid idiot? Of course, with the horrific things that are written in there, if her husband, Jeremy, finds that and reads that you intentionally killed one of your children, he's gonna freak out and want to kill you. I think nearly any parent would feel like that if they found out their spouse killed their child. Like, of course he's gonna want to kill you. So why would you name it an autobiography, you stupid idiot? Oh my goodness. You should have just called it something different. Her antagonistic journal, writing exercise, literally anything else but an autobiography. Like I said, her agent told her to start writing when she met Jeremy, but if it's an autobiography, and you met in your 20s, you had a whole 20 years before that. Like, that's dumb. But if anything, her starting her autobiography, because I am team autobiography. I'm not team letter. I think the letter is a cop-out and it was stupid and was extra security for if she was able to get away with Crew. I think it honestly proves the point more that the autobiography is real if she really was as obsessed with Jeremy as she makes it seem in the autobiography. Because yeah, if you are that obsessed, you would start when you met them and not start at the beginning of your life, because literally that's where it starts. It starts with her and Jeremy meeting. There's literally no mention of her life before. So I think the autobiography is the truth, no lie. And just further pick me proof, it's like, girl, stand up. You're starting your autobiography when you met the man you married and had children with. Boo. And it was obviously just the autobiography as a whole was just there for shock value and to keep the reader reading. And the sex scenes, the quite explicit sex scenes in between the super disturbing introspection from Verity, was not the best writing decision in my personal opinion. And this is kind of tricky, you could say, but from my perspective, if it was just a writing exercise, you were just trying to be antagonistic, why is the relationship with Jeremy so positive, and why is the sex so good? In the letter, she tries to make it oh, of course I wasn't so obsessed with that, blah, 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 whatever. But it's no, if anything, you're kind of making yourself look stupid, because it would have been better if, despite how she acts towards Jeremy and always initiating and stuff like that, she would have been negative about it in her own perspective, right? She wouldn't have been, oh, I love it so much, he's so good in bed, da da da, blah blah blah. It would have been, oh, he thinks he's so good, and I guess I just keep making him believe that, blah blah blah. He got me pregnant, and I didn't want to get pregnant. Like, that would make more sense instead of falling head over heels in love with him, and then all this stuff. It should have started like that, but then she started like not seeing him that way. But I don't know. It just, due to Colleen Hoover's not necessarily stupendous writing talent, it really just falls apart when you think about it. And the letter as the twist near the end, I just think is dumb. And ultimately, no matter which one is actually true, I just don't trust Verity in general. Whenever she would appear on the page, I would get so creeped out, because what I thought was going to happen, I thought Verity was going to start killing. I thought she was going to kill Jeremy. I thought she was going to try to kill Lauren. That is not what happens. But yes, the one I was scared of the most was Verity and her creepy self. Oh my goodness, she was so creepy throughout the whole book. And then just some of my like overall thoughts about the book. Colleen Hoover's writing left something to be desired. What else is new? A question I have, are all the characters supposed to be unlikable? Yeah, are they supposed to be? Lauren was annoying. Verity obviously has a lot of issues, and Jeremy was just so bland and boring. It really, it's no wonder that these two mentally ill characters projected so hard onto him immediately. And with the ending, at least in this edition, I don't know if it's in other ones, but the epilogue where Jeremy kills that woman, that man is crazy no matter what. He is actually insane. But the part with the biting of the headboard, both in Verity and Lauren's perspective, the only thing I thought was like, that doesn't hurt your teeth. Like, you're not scared of you're not scared of like hurting your teeth or breaking your teeth. And then further proving how much of a pick-me Lauren is, she bites over Verity's bite marks. It's like, come on, girl. Stand up. What are you doing? Hate the insta-love, both in Verity's perspective and Lauren's perspective. And Lauren's, honestly, is very... One, her name, I have... Lowen? Is that what it is? I don't know. But 2-3 weeks, she's just living in the house, and she's in love with him, and she has his baby. I'm like, girl, come on. What are you doing? What are we doing? Further proving how much of a pick-me she is. Verity is ashes, literally dead, murdered by Jeremy while she was in the room. But she's still in her head, after she is dead, is competing with her. She's like, oh, she was able to lose the baby weight, da da blah blah blah. It's like, she's dead. She's dead. She's not alive anymore, and you're worried about her. And yeah, your baby daddy's a murderer, bro. He killed Verity, and he killed that woman for no reason. And I think she put that in there. She threw that in there just so you would, maybe since Jeremy is crazy, like, the letter was right. No matter what, I don't like any of them. I don't care for any of them, and I don't care what happens. It's just stupid, and I feel bad for the kids. Those are the only people I feel bad about. In conclusion, the only thing the reader knows 100% to be true is that Jeremy's a murderer. That's it. And the ultimate thing I would say that makes me team autobiography is the fact that in the letter, Verity talks about how she was afraid of Jeremy. Obviously, he tried to kill her, from what she said. But when she's in the hospital, she pretends that she's like non-responsive. But with the nature of the accident, the nature of everything, she's a high-profile, wealthy woman. There would be 100% an investigation into it. And with that, she would have had the opportunity to tell somebody that she did not feel safe with her husband. But no, instead of that, she pretends that she's not responsive and leaves herself in his care. So I think that proving the point of how much she wanted Jeremy just to love her and not her kids or anything, it would make sense that she leaves herself completely vulnerable in his care, because especially when Lowen gets there, she has these nurses. The nurses like Jeremy, and he spends his whole life caring for her. Like, I don't know what about that gives that he, or that, yeah, even if he did actually try to kill her, after reading the autobiography, yeah, it would make sense why someone would want to kill their spouse after reading that they apparently are confessing to the murder of their child and how much they hate their children. Like, come on. I gave Verity a 1 out of 5 stars. Lackluster writing, explicit sex scenes in between, truly disturbing introspection from Verity. And once you start really looking into it, you start poking stuff, inquiring, there are so many holes that it just falls apart and becomes a complete mess. And for me, by the end, I honestly didn't care what was true. I didn't care what was going to happen. It really didn't matter to me. And before I end the video, I just wanted to make a note, something I've considered when it comes to Miss Madam Colleen Hoover. In this edition I have for my library, the collector's edition, she writes a note to the reader. In the letter, she writes a letter to the reader, and in the letter she says, "My only goal in this career as a writer is to entertain." And love her or hate her, that's what she does, right? If there's one positive that can come from Colleen Hoover and her writing, despite the quality of it, is the fact that she is causing a lot of people to read that probably weren't reading before. And no matter what it is that people read, I'm not going to be judging people from their reading preferences. Lord knows I don't want people to judge me. But it's bringing people to reading into books that probably didn't have the time to pick them up before, or just weren't interested. And that is saying something. That is one positive that we can find with her, especially with how popular of an author she is. The reason why I decided to pick it up was because when I was working at my old job, one of my old coworkers recommended I read this after she finished it. And then one of my best friends just recently told me that she read it, and she doesn't have a whole lot of time to read, but she finished it in like 2 or 3 days, and she loves this book. Is it top tier storytelling? Absolutely not. But is she doing what she said she wanted to do? Is it easily digestible and somewhat entertaining? Yes. Yes, it is. Have you read Verity? What did you think? What did you rate it? Are you team autobiography, or are you team letter? I honestly, if you're team letter, you really like a cop-out. I can't lie. Because after reading that whole autobiography, I don't care how good of a writer she is. I don't care what she says. You're crazy. And even Lauren says after she has her baby, she's like, any woman that would write about their children like that is crazy. So I'm team autobiography. But that is all I have to say about Verity by Colleen Hoover. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of me and hear how good of a singer I am, you can check out my music channel and my original music, all under the name of Shy Fighter. If you want to subscribe, if you want to subscribe, I don't know, do whatever you would like to do, and I will see you when I see you. Farewell.